Yesterday was the first time when I was able to get up on a sinker board, and while it's still fresh, I want to share some tips and tricks and what helped me. So I'm 75 kilos, this is 34 liter, so it's roughly a little bit less than half of my weight in liters. It's Armstrong Forward geometry. First of all, you need to cover the deck with traction. Before I tried two times without anything. It's very hard because your knees all over the place when you try to balance and get up. So you have to have the whole deck covered in traction. I just installed some leftovers. This works pretty well. The second part is the leash. So just get the proper cuff leash. Do not use ankle leash and try to tie it on your cuff. It's not gonna work. After like a few wipeouts, it's gonna come loose. So get a good cuff leash. This one is North Cuff Hydrofoil leash. It's pretty good. Yeah, I tried it. It's perfect. It doesn't slip. It has some traction inside. These silicone parts, yeah, it works very well. Another thing to consider is mast position. So if you have somebody with a jet ski or boat that could tow you, it's pretty easy to dial in the mast position with any given foil. But if you don't have anyone, it's pretty tricky. So best way is if you have get the next board you're riding, like let's say in my case it was 60 liter, and I just aligned traction with old board and new board, and basically eyeballed where the mast position was on the old one and kind of like made the same on the new one, on the small one. So for forward geometry, let's say I was on position number 4, and on this one it's +1, so it's position number 5, and it works pretty well. If you don't have the proper position of the mast, then every time you get up, it's either not enough pressure or too much pressure at the back foot, and it makes things more complicated. So if you know the mast position, it removes another variable from the equation. When you're ready to try the sinker board, the best thing to do first is to get out in the water without the wing, with just board and mounted foil, and just get the feel for the board. Especially when you try to sink, try to find the balance point and try to get on your knees, do like standard knee start, and see like every time you flip, see with what force the board goes up. It has some good force to tear your wing easily, and every time it's gonna go up, nose up or foil up, you have no idea, and it's pretty significant force. So just be aware of that, and that's why you don't want to bring the wing on your first tries. Just get the feel for the board. I tear mine in 2 places on the first day I was trying. It's tricky. Another thing is consider just make it peace with yourself, that you're not going to be riding sinker for the first, 3 sessions at least. So best to bring both boards, your sinker and normal board. Do first time sinker, like, try 45 minutes, try to do water starts, balancing. Spend some time with the board, basically, get used to it, with the board and wing all together. Something to it's mental, so just make peace that you're not going to be riding for like at least 3 sessions. So when you're ready to try, on a good day, 17 to 20 knots, get your 5 meter, at least 5 meter for my weight, even though I would use 3.5 on any other board on a strong day. But you will need, when you learn, at least 5 meter to get enough power to get up. What I picked up yesterday for my session is it's a lot to do with pitch control of the board. So when you're balancing, right, it's more stable when you put nose down, kind of, and you can always correct by just leaning backwards, and so the board comes up. And so it's a very stable point when you are nose down a little bit pitched. But once you're ready to get up, the board in this position will just sink more when you keep moving forward with the wing power. So instead, it's like you need to find a sweet spot where you can easily pitch control down and up. And so at first you will be a little bit down, and then when there is power, you need to either like walk your knees a little bit or just lean backwards and get the pitch change the pitch to nose up. It's the only position that the board will go up, and you'll have some success to actually start playing on the water on top. So pitch control is the key, in my opinion, from my experience yesterday. And yeah, before I would be mostly like pitch down, center, but then it clicked that actually right before you're ready to put some power in the wing, you gotta pitch nose up. You gotta shift your balance. By itself, board will not do it. You need to move it with your balance. If you put more power in this position, it will just sink more, basically. Some people, if you have straps, so I didn't do with straps, I just don't wanna, maybe at a later stage I'll put straps, but if you have straps, especially the rare one, some people, when they do normal knee start, I think they squeeze the strap, so it allows more control when you pitch it, especially pitch up, and in this position, so you're squeezing the rare strap, you can be balanced in nose up position probably more easily. I don't know exactly, but something to try if you have straps. But again, I had no idea if my foil was in the correct position, so I didn't put any straps just to get everything dialed in. On the light days, I ride 60 liter, the same board, but 60 liter, and this one way looser, way more responsive, way more playful. It's like fun, but much harder. Right now, when I learn, it's much harder to do water start. But later on, I guess, yeah, with strong winds, shouldn't be that difficult. And I'll show you a little trick how to make your life easier when you do water start, especially on a smaller board. So imagine this is a board, the wing and the wind that way, and you're heading this way. You get the board in your normal position. Let's say your wing is attached here, and your normal start would be, so you hold your wing here, you're balancing on a big board for now, and then you do 1, 2, 3. You see this upward pass. So again, your normal water start would be you hold the front handle, the leading edge handle, you lift it up, you grab and you pass. So you have one extra move, probably half second, but on a smaller board, it's all it takes like half second to upset your balance. So instead, what you can do is, let's say you've got on your board, you're still holding to your front leading edge handle, and you're pushing in the water for balance. So you're doing this, you stabilize, then you basically either put this free hand on top and grab the first front handle with the same hand as you hold the leading edge. So basically move this hand to front handle while balancing like this and bring it closer. So now you have, like, you super balanced because you pushing down maybe with both hands or with one, whatever works for you. And at this stage you can lift it, and because you have this elbow support and this connection, so you can press in the water. You're pressing the wing in the water and pressing down here, so there's a stable point, and reach your free hand, grab the second handle, and now it's still super stable because you're pushing in the water, so you still can balance and correct the balance. And at this point, once you're stable, you just lift it and grab it. You see, it's one pass. There is no awkward that half-second delay when you have to pass the hands. Again, it's like super easy. Your hand on the leading edge handle, you're balancing, the wind is pretty close to you, and then at this point you move your hand to front handle, grab it securely, lift it, press it in here and in the water, so it's stable. Get your free hand, get the second handle and press it in the water as well, so it's stable. But don't do it for long, do it like for as quick as you can, maybe a second or two. At this point, just lift it up and grab. So the only thing is, this hand appears to be inverted, but most people can pump with inverted. If not, you can just do a finger walk and basically switch it to normal position. But I find it doesn't make any difference if you start this way or this way. It's actually easier to do this way, especially if you're tired and you're ready to go. Once the board starts moving and you have some power in your wing, yeah, it's all super easy to complete.